Okay, everything is up and running. All right, hello everybody. Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
was just finishing up a Grok thing before I
Yeah, I was messing with the
started
grok
up.
earlier
So,
too.
um, so basketball stuff. Two big things. Number one, Wemby's already gotten hurt once this season. If he gets hurt again for like a substantial amount of time, he could easily miss out on qualifying, which I think is the only way he wouldn't win Rookie of the Year. Not because he deserves it, but because awards voters are journalists, and there's no chance in hell they don't unanimously give Wemby the MVP because they're sexy shit. He's not even close to the, Rookie of the Year. He's not even close to Rookie of the Year. But I was just looking at NBA.com's rookie ratings, and they've got him way out in front of Chet, and I'm all like, how?
Yeah,
The
that's tough to
fucking
justify.
reasoning, the reasoning is that the Spurs beat the Pistons in a game where Wembanyama shot like absolute fucking dog shit, but he just had double-digit assists for the first time in his career. Like, it's unbelievable to me. But at this point, it's a done deal. He'll probably win Rookie of the Year unanimously as long as he qualifies because these people are animals. But if he does get hurt, then I think Jaime Jaquez is a dark horse to actually win it. Because obviously Chet's better, but if Jaime has, like, right at the end of the season, he gets hot at the right time, he's been really good and really consistent. Like, I'm surprised that the guy dropped as far as he did. He's been balling out.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing a lot about him pre-draft.
And I think the reason for that, I mean, genuinely, I mean this genuinely, it's because he's Mexican. When's the last time you've ever heard of a Mexican basketball player just fucking balling out like this? I mean, frankly, hearing about any Mexican adult male who's taller than 5'8" is like fucking finding a unicorn in and of itself. And MVP watch for Embiid, assuming that he ducks Jokic like he has for the last 5 consecutive years, he can only miss 6 more games before he's out of there. And if you include that Denver game, then Philadelphia still has to play 44 more games this season. So at this point, it's a done deal. There's no way he only misses another 6.
He's not going to be happy about that.
Yeah. And it comes back to, like I was saying, where it's practically already happened, where you're going to see uh, Embiid won't qualify because he misses too many games. And it's the first example of somebody who, quote unquote, got robbed of an award because they didn't miss enough games. So Silver will probably remove the restriction, or he'll put in some bullshit exceptions clause where if you come in first in MVP voting or some shit, you'll still win it anyway. Or whatever. Who the fuck knows? But they'll do something. They'll be forced to because you already see a bunch of race baiters like Kendrick Perkins. Oh my God, Jokic is a fraud MVP. He only won it because Embiid missed too many games, and then Embiid flames out in the playoffs yet again. Jokic wins a second straight ring.
Well, you know, the jerk store called. They're running out of Kendrick Perkins.
Seriously. Hey, that gives me a great fucking grok idea. Give me a minute.
I don't think so, Ruggie. Game audio sounds weird. I think that's something wrong with the game. I don't think there's anything. Let's just turn the music all the way down. Oh, the cricket sound. Okay. I'll turn those off too, I guess. I don't need them. That's happening for me too. But it's in game because Snacks' audio isn't cutting off.
Yeah, the crickets are just part of the ambiance when you're fishing at night. They're always there on every map.
Oh, yeah? Well, I had sex with your wife. So, I was looking this up earlier today. One of the people who interviewed for the role of George Costanza was Chris Rock. Could you imagine how much that would not have worked?
Oh my god. The one black guy on the show being the George Costanza character, that would have been a nightmare. What?
And like Chris Rock's kind of a cool dude, you know? Like
Yeah,
he couldn't
Chris
play
Rock
being the
is
loser.
funny. He's great. I love him. Aside from being a loser, think about how sex obsessed George is.
Hmm.
People would have gotten insanely offended by the one black guy on the cast being a absolutely perverted, sex crazed maniac.
Hmm.
That would not have gone over well a few years after the show finished.
Hmm. Also on the list to who auditioned was Nathan Lane. Man, that role would have been a disaster with literally anybody else. I can't even imagine it.
Nathan Lane, that would have been really, really tough.
Yeah.
There's only one other guy I could imagine being George Costanza besides Jason Alexander and having it work. Norm Macdonald.
I don't think Norm could pull off the self-loathing part, the part where the insecure part of him. Like Norm always seems so comfortable and happy with himself.
Not only that, but the more uncomfortable he made people around him, the happier he got.
Yeah.
It would have been an entirely different character, but it still would have worked, I think.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, imagine you're getting fired for having sex with a cleaning woman. Imagine that scene right now where it's Norm.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes from Jason Alexander being like was that wrong, and like genuinely asking that, versus Norm is like, why was that wrong? Oh god.
Also, Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi is an extremely funny guy too, and a fantastic actor. But I would have liked to have seen him be a member of the main cast, but not George. I think he would have done okay as Kramer. The best role that Steve Buscemi could have had would have been Newman.
Newman.
So think about Norm doing the George's Answering Machine song.
George is actually Jason Alexander's actually a good singer. So the first time he
Right.
did the take, he did way too good. So they told him, you gotta like sound tone deaf, dude."
Where could I be? Believe it or not, I'm not home.
Let's see here. Write a story where Pete Carroll gives his final press conference as head coach after getting fired, but instead of saying anything, does squat cobbler and leaves.
Oh shit. That's fantastic. I'm gonna do that now.
Oh, it's trying to define squat cobbler. For those unfamiliar with the term, a squat cobbler is a dance move that involves squatting down and making a cobbler motion with your hands.
What?
I don't know what the hell kind of a motion that would be.
This is fantastic. Grok finally understood. Grok finally got it. Oh man. And what I mean by that is at the very end, Kramer's the only one who's happy.
That's pretty good. I like it. I never watched the Boondocks. No.
I did. So yeah, I never thought we'd be able to say this, but for all those people who are caping up for Pete hardcore, and oh, the Seahawks will regret this. I can't believe they treated him like that. Yet, the Seahawks treated Pete better than the Patriots treated Bill.
Yeah.
Like, the Seahawks are absolutely giving a sweetheart sending off to Pete, whereas the Patriots just said, "Hey, Bill, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out."
Yeah. Bill Belichick is the greatest head coach of all time, and even he could not survive a run with a lack of success like Pete has had over the last 7 years. And you know how I know that? Because he literally just didn't.
Right. And I mean, they're a rebuilding team. Obviously they're gonna fucking struggle, and it's not even Bill's fault because Mac Jones, like, first of all, he wasn't that good in the first place, but even still, he regressed significantly this year. And you can't put that on Bill, but he gets let go anyway because they're just trying to move on into a new era. And yeah,
They still had a good defense with no talent.
absolutely. So many of their games were way closer than they had any business being. Like their last game against the Bills. I was watching that one because if the Bills lost, it would have clinched that they missed the playoffs. But in that game, it was extremely sloppy on the part of the Patriots. Bailey Zappi had like uh, three consecutive turnovers in the first three drives, and he almost had four consecutive turnovers, but they overturned one of his fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the start to the game. But the Patriots defense was so good, they only lost by one touchdown. When you start off your first four drives are like that, you'd figure you would fucking lose by a lot. They only lost by 7 points.
Yeah.
I mean, a performance like that when you have possibly the worst roster in the league, at the very least an argument that you have the worst roster in the league, that alone should save Bill's job and his legacy. But that still didn't stop the Patriots from moving on because they knew that it was time for them to move on. Seahawks held on to Pete way past the expiration date.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another thing that I got to talk about here too. I wonder a lot how it looks in terms of the people who are caping up for Pete. How many of them are the same people who relentlessly shat on Geno the entire season, and at points were even saying that Drew Lock should start?
I think there's a little crossover, not a ton.
Yeah. It makes me wonder because I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Oh, did you
one
see the
dumbass take tends to beget another.
Did you see the Chicago Bulls Ring of Honor ceremony?
No, I did not.
It
What
went
happened?
very poorly. The fans just
Nice.
booed Jerry Krause the whole time, basically.
Oh, that's like when the Warriors were doing the Chris Mullin jersey retirement ceremony,
Yeah.
and on Chris Mullin night they booed the Warriors owner because he had just traded Mona Ellis,
Yeah, Joe
which
Lacob.
led to the Warriors dynasty. Like Bogut was a huge reason for that first ring. So, if history holds on here, then it means that the Bulls are about to have a dynasty. I guess Zach LaVine's really going to take a step forward. But yeah, the fans booing an owner, I totally get that. But I have always felt that you've got to pick your moment, and taking over a moment where somebody who really deserves it is being honored, and using that as a platform to voice your displeasure with ownership, that is really not the right moment.
Thing is,
So when Warriors fans booed,
a lot of owners just kind of hide until a ceremony like that comes around. So the fans probably feel like this is my one chance to let them know that I don't like them.
oh, that's perfectly valid. But at the same time, Pistons fans are like sell the team, canning every game because damn right. That would be a great opportunity to voice their displeasure. But if there was like a if there was a jersey retirement ceremony for like uh fuck, who's done it recently but hasn't been yet. Haven't had any guys in a long time.
Dirk?
Well, for the Pistons.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. Probably nobody.
Because I'm sitting there like the only guys who actually deserve it are guys who've long since had it done. Like the closest thing they had to a star in the last 20 fucking years, practically. Well,
Andre Drummond.
15. And the last 15 years have been fucking Drummond.
Mhm.
Well, anyway. If like let's just say they decided to make Isaiah Thomas's birthday an honorary Pistons holiday or some shit, so then they have Zeke show up to the ceremony. If they took that chance to boo the owner, that would be really, really fucking not good.
It's probably going to be a couple months, Nelsonator. It's going to take a while. Remember, a lot of the coaches they might want are still in the playoffs. You can't hire them while they're still playing games. Hey, Herman, how you doing tonight? You know, I have yet to get Grok to tell me that it can't write something. It has not happened once.
Because it doesn't often happen, and usually when it does, all you need to do is just copy the prompt and then reset Grok and then paste it back in and it'll go.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've even had to do that. Thank you, Herman.
The fuck?
The guy the Patriots are replacing Bill Belichick with, the greatest head coach of all time, is literally like 3 years older than me, and he was literally playing football less than a decade ago. And
Yeah.
people are trying to tell me that firing Carroll was a mistake because who knows who we're gonna get. Fucking Bill Belichick's 10 times the coach Carroll is.
Hey, Carroll was not a coach anymore.
And the Patriots are replacing him with fucking Jared Mayo.
Yeah, they're replacing him with fucking. We've got Bill Belichick at home. Yeah, the Patriots deserve exactly what's about to happen. This seems to happen pretty frequently in Boston sports, though, where they have an amazing time period, and then instead of following that up with consistency and remaining a good and competitive team, they get high on the smell of their own farts, and then they fuck everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't happen to a nicer fan base, but yeah, definitely.
Who the hell knew who Kevin Stefanski was until he got hired by the Browns? To bet very few people even knew who Stefanski was, and then he got the Browns job, and he's legitimately one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Yeah. There's no way to know what you're going to get until you've actually got it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of guys who were supposed to pan out didn't, and plenty of guys who no one knew what the fuck they could even do ended up being amazing,
Yeah,
you
and
know?
if the guy you hire is not good, there's this thing that you can do where you call them into the owner's office, you sit them down, and you're like, you fire them. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You're not taking a blood oath with them.
Right.
Yeah, Nelsonator, that comment rubbed me the wrong way. I almost made a video about it, but I know all the Pete Carroll fanboys will get really butthurt. But that comment that Pete made today really rubbed me the wrong way.
Which one?
He went on the radio earlier today on the Brock and Salk show to talk about the firing, and I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but what he basically said was what I took from it was basically, and I'm going to paraphrase heavily here, basically saying, I am such a genius at football that it's really hard for me to explain things to people who don't understand football, like Jody Allen. So it was hard for me to communicate what I wanted to do properly, which is why I got fired. And obviously, he didn't say exactly that, but he basically said, I'm trying to explain football to somebody who doesn't really know football, and sometimes I think things get lost because of that, and there become disagreements from that. And it's like, that's like when the guy in the job interview gets asked, "What is your biggest weakness?" and they're like, "I think I'm too good at my job." Mhm.
That's like when Boogie goes into the job interview and he says, "Yeah, I used to work in the porn industry," with no explanation of what he actually did to just make you assume that it's the worst case scenario.
Yeah, okay. That gives me an idea. I'm gonna get Grok to write a story where Boogie goes to a job interview, but once he gets in there, he just starts taking a shit on the floor like Kramer.
Jesus Christ. Oh God. Another Boogie crossover event. Pete Carroll goes on the radio to talk about the firing. Somehow gets sidetracked and says, the N word is just a word. And on the radio, well, so say it. Well, I'm not going to say it.
No, actually, right guy. He wasn't the cameraman in a porno. He designed websites. for porn videos, which could easily be spun into something positive. You could just say like, I did website design for 7 years. They don't have to know what the websites were for. Just say various things. Yeah, Nelsonator, I've said this before. I don't understand why Seattle fans liked Coward so much. Colin Coward, like, there's literally no difference between him and Skip Bayless. They're both the same person, basically. They both just say whatever to get the most possible attention at any given time. That's all they do. Skip Bayless has admitted off air in private with people that he doesn't actually believe any of the things he says. He just does it for content.
Yeah. So I don't think Grok really understood what Squat Cobbler was, but it still made a hell of a try. I still enjoyed that story.
I've seen it get Squat Cobbler right before. Maybe you have to define it a little bit better.
Yeah, I will, and then I'll see what he does from there. But that's still fantastic. The prompt was literally just, can you write a story about Pete Carroll's final press conference being, he doesn't go out there and say anything, he just does Squat Cobbler. That was the prompt. And suddenly Grok's like, Pete Carroll wearing nothing but an apron and a chef's hat. Like, oh god.
I can't take it anymore, Jerry. That's it. I'm taking a shit on your floor. You're killing independent, George. I love that, George. Me too, and he's dying, Jerry. That scene is so good. His wife's in a coma. When you think about it, George still got him good, right? Just because his wife was in a coma doesn't change the fact that the line was good.
Plus, they got to have that nice food.
You want to have a snow tire day at Yankee Stadium?
George, that's exactly the kind of thinking that I want to see more of around here. Here, I want you to start wearing this jersey in honor of Jackie Robinson.
I'm not going to stay up terribly late tonight, just so you know. I have to get up a little earlier than usual tomorrow.
All right.
Okay. Look at how quickly Colin Coward bailed on Wilson the moment it became Wilson versus Sean Payton. He took Sean Payton's side in literally half a second. You set me up with a bald woman.
You know what's crazy is that George Costanza's character is Italian,
Mm-hmm.
and his parents are Italian, but George's mannerisms are extremely Jewish. His parents are extremely Jewish, and Jason Alexander, the actor that played his father, and the actress that played his mother, all three of them are all Jewish.
I think his mom was Jewish in the show.
Maybe
I,
she
I
was.
think
I
Frank was
can't totally
Italian
remember.
American.
Yeah, Frank was Italian, and George was Italian, but all the all the actors and actresses are Jewish,
Mm-hmm.
and their mannerisms are extremely Jewish, and all the writers for the show were Jewish. And I say all that because I'm like, he's got to be like the least Italian character ever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they didn't just have him be Jewish. It's not like it would have made any of the stories any different.
I mean, he's clearly based off Larry David, and David is very Jewish. One second, guys. Be right back. Okay, we are back. Magic Labyrinth of I Am Mean. Jesus Christ. You actually got it to do it. Very nice.
I remember that one time JJ Barea flopped when Bynum hit him.
That would have been very hard to flop on. That's a very skilled flopper, if true. Big if true.
Oh man, in that Bucks Celtics game the other day, Thanasis Antetokounmpo checks in, and within 10 seconds of him checking in, he got a text for flopping.
Beautiful.
Hilarious.
Yeah, you know, the last few days have taught me, JS, that people take sports get way too emotional about this part of sports. I understand getting emotional about the games. This part of sports people get so emotional about. Like, of course, Kalen DeBoer took the Alabama job. It's Alabama. It's not a personal slight at us for being Huskies fans. He took the best job in college football right now. It sucks for us, but that is the nature of the sport. You're a stepping stone for everyone unless you're one of the truly big dogs, and right now we're not. I def Okay, I'm gonna ask Grok to write a story where Chuck defecates in the middle of a courtroom and Jimmy orchestrated it somehow and see what it comes up with.
Nice. I'm gonna write a story about Bob Odenkirk getting caught red-handed for with the feet pics.
Proud of Grok for that one. Yeah, JS, did you ever see the Iron Giant? Uh, the government agent that got fed laxatives so Hogarth could get away from him. Remember that? He orchestrated it. Yeah, Iron Giant's an animated movie. It's Brad Bird. He couldn't get any of the major studios to pick it up, but it kind of put him on the map.
Nice.
Here we go. Public masturbation. I haven't watched the last two episodes yet, JS. So I'm gonna have to catch up sometime maybe this weekend. Although actually, I might just wait until they do the season finale and watch them all back to back. They really are never gonna do better than they did in season two. That's always just gonna be the best. Like this season has been very much straightforward and very simplistic and basic, really, like female empowerment. Like every single challenge is like a woman overcoming a man this season, it feels like. That's everything that goes on. Like all the men are stupid or evil or cruel or whatever, and all the women are just trying to like break free of that. Whereas in season two, they did that, but it ended up being that the woman was a fucking idiot and she ended up getting everybody killed. Like it was actually kind of a subversion of the expected tropes, but now 3 seasons later, they're doing it more straight up. Like the lady cop and her dumbass husband, that whole subplot so far for me has been like super lazy and uninvigorating.
I think this might be the reason why people booed the fuck out of that ceremony. The first Ring of Honor class, uh, for the Bulls there was going to be the entire '96 Bulls team,
Hmm.
and Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman did not attend the ceremony.
Then you cancel the ceremony. Like there's no ceremony without your three best players. What the fuck?
Like, what in the fuck is the point? Reportedly, Phil Jackson didn't even go either. So, like, what the fuck was the entire point?
Yeah, like imagine if the Heat decided to do a ceremony to honor the 2013 Heat, and the only people who showed up were like Birdman,
Norris Cole.
Norris Cole, and Birdman.
Yeah, everyone would be like, okay, what the hell? Bo didn't show up. Riley's dead. Mickey's charging $300 a ticket.
And Rashard Lewis.
Grief.
I mean, isn't Jennifer Jason Leigh basically just doing an impression of Mallory Archer in Fargo? Really, like it feels like she's just doing this impression of Mallory Archer all the time.
Oh. Oh. That explains a lot. Jerry Krause was the general manager of the Bulls from 1985 to 2003. And Jerry Krause's name was honored in the whole thing. Jerry Krause is dead. He passed away, and his widow Thelma was there to represent him at the ceremony.
Ah.
So Jerry Krause's name gets read off as during the ceremony, and the entire crowd, like in the United Center, is fucking huge. Like the whole building just starts booing the shit out of Jerry Krause, who's dead, and his widow is the one who's there. So she just breaks down in tears.
Mm.
Like, I completely understand why this was an utter fucking catastrophe now. Steve Kerr was there for the ceremony, but he was in the locker room when Krause's name got read off, and he heard the booing, and he gave the fans a ton of shit for that. And he's all like, I don't care how the fuck you feel about Jerry Krause, but why the hell would you boo his widow? That is so fucked up.
Yeah. It's fucking great.
Jesus Christ. Bulls fans mauling tonight. Good lord.
It's like something that would happen in Philly.
Yeah, seriously, this is some fucking outrageous shit that happened. Nice.
My name is George. I'm unemployed and I live with my parents.
Apparently, DeMar DeRozan was disgusted with the behavior of Bulls fans tonight. Also, yeah, this definitely sounds like the worst fucking decision that they've had in a long time because it ended up being a catastrophe.
Yeah. They should have this sounds like something Grok would write. Write a story about a Chicago Bulls Ring of Honor induction ceremony where the fans start screaming the N word and shitting on the court.
Seriously.
I don't think Fargo writers know who the Archer matriarch is. I mean, I know, maybe you're right, but I don't know. That's what her performance feels like. I've read a lot of reviews that actually hate her performance. They think it's super over the top and card carrying, which it is, but I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. Um, John Hamm's son is that's Steve Harrington from Stranger Things, right? Yeah, Stranger Things, yeah. Which I never watched, but I definitely recognize him. Carson, how you doing? We got cheese at home, Derek. Yeah. I guess the fun part about shooting a show like Fargo is that the accent is like the easiest accent to do, so any actor can come in and just do it. Like, I never really thought of Kirsten Dunst as being like a good actor. Maybe she is, I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen her in enough. I thought she was just an actor, and then she ends up being one of the best parts of season 2. And she like the accent's not that hard to get. Wasn't there that one movie she was in where the world's about to be destroyed? And, like, what was it called? Melancholia with Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah.
I didn't
I
see
don't
that
know if
one.
Kiefer Sutherland was in it. I didn't see it myself, but I know what movie that is, yeah. It was a wild concept for a movie. It's like another planet. It's caught in the solar system's gravitational pull,
Mhm.
and it ends up on a collision course with Earth, and it's like the size of Jupiter, so there's no fucking way that it doesn't obliterate the Earth as it's in its path. So then, after they make this discovery, they're like, well, there's nothing we can do. You've got like a year before we're all fucked.
Wonder if that happened in real life, how I would feel. Like, it's happening to everybody else, so it's not the same as if you get cancer. I kind of feel like you just kind of almost shrug it off in a weird way.
There's just one really funny video game. It's like it's damn near a Flash game in terms of the quality of how it was made.
Hmm.
But it's a really simple game and it's pretty funny. You have 60 seconds to do stuff because it's like there's at the start of the game there's a news report that says there's an asteroid about to collide with the Earth. You have 60 seconds to live. So in that 60 seconds um you can pick up items and the only items to pick up are a remote control device with a button on it and a baseball bat. And use the item, which is either pushing the button or swinging the baseball bat, and you can kiss. So you could like kiss something that you come across. There's only men, women, and dogs. So there's lots of different endings based off of what you do. There's you can bust into a laboratory to steal the remote control, and the remote control device is to a nuclear missile. So then you send the missile at the asteroid, and it destroys the asteroid. You save the Earth. But it turns out that the whole thing was a VR simulation with your family watching because they were trying to get a feel for what kind of person you really are. So the funny shit is when you spend that 60 seconds doing crazy shit, like if you just go on a rampage and like start killing people. If you go on a rampage but you only kill children. If you decide to go crazy and you just kiss a bunch of men. The whole thing's really fucking funny.
George, divided against itself, cannot stand. You know, I never watched True Detective JS. I've had friends who really liked it, but I never started it.
I have not been able to get a bite for the last 3 hours of game time.
That's improbable.
Yeah, seriously. Like, what the fuck?
I had halibut for the first time in forever tonight. It was pretty good. You know, I don't know if I have Apple TV anymore, JS. I don't think I do. Maybe I do. You know, I was watching Ordinary Sausage's video, every single Lunchable sausage, where he grinds up every single Lunchable
Oh,
possible.
God. Yeah.
And it kind of got me thinking they should make Lunchables for adults. Like, Lunchables are actually kind of cool. It's just it's not real food. If they actually made Lunchables with
Yeah.
like decent food, that would actually be fire. Hey Rob Dog, how you doing? Welcome to the stream, good sir. They do have that now? Really? Okay. I'm gonna have to look into that. Lunchables were fire. I used to do a lot of TV dinners when I lived on my own. I became a connoisseur of TV dinners. Okay.
Oh, oh man, this Croc store is amazing.
Mhm. Oh, Rob Dog,
Oh
thank you for
man.
the raid. Thank you for the 12-man raid, Rob Dog. Welcome everybody to the stream. All right, we are popping tonight, everybody. Thank you so much, Rob Dog. Those things are awful for you? Oh, I'm sure they are. Okay, thank you, Rob. I will do my best. Oh, no. That's all you gave it, and it wrote something really, really funny?
I was like, holy shit.
Wait, you didn't tell it to do that? It just came up with it on its own? Wow. That is phenomenal.
I was like, sometimes you strike fucking gold with this thing, man. Definitely. Holy shit.
Well done. Oh, we got a bite, finally. I hadn't gotten a bite in a few minutes, too. There we go. I don't think I've ever had a TV dinner. I got pretty sick of them by the end, I gotta be honest. I remember back like 10, 12 years ago, they had like the ones that cost $1. I think they were called like Banquet or Kids
Yeah, I
Cuisine,
remember
maybe.
those.
Yeah, well, what?
Banquets.
Yeah, Banquet. Were those the nice ones or the cheap ones? I forget.
Those are cheap because to this day, Banquet still does a lot of really cheap stuff. I go and I get like a huge bag of tendies from Banquet. That's like insanely fucking cheap.
Yeah, Kids Cuisine's pretty nasty. I remember getting Kids Cuisine nuggets one time
Yeah,
and like I quickly gave up. I was like, this is not happening.
I remember Kids Cuisine too. Uh, yeah, just TV dinners in general are absolute fucking garbage. I'd much rather just get a bag of frozen chicken nuggets and microwave them. They
Hmm.
taste less like cardboard than a fucking TV dinner does.
A couple of them were good. Hungry Man's were good TV dinners. Hungry Man's.
It's a big fella.
For some reason, Kramer was wearing a trench coat that covered his entire body, but they all just chalked it up to his eccentric nature and went into the stadium. Have you seen the David Letterman video of Michael Richards apologizing? By the way,
Over the phone?
yeah, a satellite phone or whatever.
Yeah, I'd seen that one.
It is bizarre to watch. I was watching it earlier today because like every time he pauses, the audience starts laughing because you know they're so conditioned to have a laugh track every time Michael Richards stops talking. Every time he finishes a
Right.
sentence, laugh track. So
Right.
it's like they're creating the laugh track for themselves. It's such a bizarre. I don't know what you even call that. It's such a bizarre like social experiment almost.
Um, moment of social conditioning.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I always thought they were laughing at what he did because it was hilarious. Oh man, You picked a hell of a place to do it, man. You definitely created some laughs on a fucking factory style assembly line that night.
Hmm. I like how when he walks
I
off the stage, there's this one woman that's like, "Oh no, where's Kramer going?" Like she's sad that the set's already over. Come on, where are the fish? I only need like maybe 3 more to fill my net. Right, we got him.
inspired by the hilarity of what ended up happening with the last one. I tried to get Grok to do it for Breaking Bad. So this was
Okay.
Grok's take on. Oh my god.
Check it out in 1 second here. Let me reel this fucker in.
Yeah, no problem.
What the fuck?
It becomes absolutely insane immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Jesus. That is a good one. I'm just really surprised the last few days, all the Seahawks fans who are saying the quiet part out loud. About how, like, I don't really care if the team is good or not. I just wanted to have Pete as my coach. It's more important to keep Pete than it is to win. Like, they're openly saying stuff like that, and it's like, I mean, I know you guys were trying to hide it for years, and now you feel like you don't have to, but you're not supposed to announce that to the world so openly. That's something to be ashamed of. I'm gonna get Grok to write a Harry Potter alternate universe where instead of Harry Potter's best friend being Ron Weasley, it's Cosmo Kramer.
That's pretty good. These are load-bearing walls, Harry. They're not going to come down. Goes to the owl store to cancel his mail.
The bank can pay those bills. The goblins can pay those bills. Honestly, Kramer was ahead of his time. There are people out there that don't receive any mail at all anymore, it feels like.
Right.
Right. $6,000 in my pocket.
The arms. This story about Harry Potter where Harry asked Professor McGonagall for squat cobbler.
Jesus. I have another YouTube short dropping tomorrow afternoon.
Nice. Jesus.
Terrible name for an airline. Bills offering $20 per hour in food to shovel the stadium. Man, that's I mean, in present day, that's basically minimum wage. I don't know who they think they're trying to fool here, but I mean, NFL teams make $300 million a year, I think. I don't think offering minimum wage and food to shovel snow in freezing cold temperatures is going to get it done. So, when Tua craps his pants tomorrow night, is it going to immediately freeze on contact with the ground? Is there just going to be a big frozen turd right at midfield?
I think the big frozen turd is going to be wearing a jersey with 1 on it.
So, it's like Bono. Tua's not trying to set the record, he is
Exactly.
the record.
Exactly. Oh, fuck the Dolphins. I'm so mad at them for making me believe that this year was going to be different. I should have known better.
I mean, remember, you almost beat the Dolphins last year, Bills last year in the playoffs with Skylar Thompson at quarterback. So if you just put Skylar
Yeah.
Thompson back in the game instead of Tua, maybe this time it'll go your way.
You know what? You're right. Let's bench him. The team will immediately get better.
Yeah, Skylar
Ugh.
Thompson, man. I actually kind of liked him in college, I remember scouting him a little bit. Oh shit, this one's a fighter. When they die and they lay me to rest, going to the place that's the best. I just punched all of your symptoms into WebMD, and according to this site, you may be suffering from network connectivity issues.
That one was pretty good.
Whoa!
Nice.
A fucking
That's a
5 pound walleye.
that's a big boy.
Your alcohol and oil, there's gonna be a fire. Immediately. It actually is very much like that clip where Homer Simpson sets the cereal bowl on fire.
Did you ever watch the lamb kebab sausage episode?
I don't think I've seen that one yet. No, no, I haven't. No, fudge. I should.
Because
Lamb.
it's not that that sausage itself is amazing. It's because it has one of the best moments during his sponsorship segment out of any of the videos. Because for that episode, it's Manscaped, and he's all like, "Now it's not just about how you feel that's important, but how does your partner feel about Manscaped?" And then Mrs. Sausage comes in. She's like, "He's smooth like a dolphin," and he goes, "Like a dolphin."
That's pretty good. At least Mrs. Sausage seems to have a sense of humor about all this.
Right.
I imagine it must be exhausting. Like every episode, the kitchen's just completely ruined. I saw the one yesterday where he put pencils through the grinder and made the pencil sausage.
Oh God.
That one was just demented.
Yeah, that one was heinous.
Like what do you think is going to happen? The crayon sausage?
Yeah, that one was wild too.
I mean, I guess LA Beast is still alive, but some of these sausages, I feel like he's just going to kill himself.
Have a good day. Ah!
If the Huskies had won the national championship, I may have done the one chip challenge on video. So part of me is kind of happy that they didn't win because now I don't have to do that. Because I do not care for spice. Hot stuff is not my thing.
Yeah. I remember one of the worst times when I was working at the gas station that we had was when we started carrying the one chip challenge uh for sale to store. So like only a bunch of kids would fucking do it, like only dumbass teenagers. And all the time I kept like I fucking told my boss when we were carrying it, I'm like, hey, we should start stocking milk because our milk sales are going to go through the roof when we sell that stuff. And every single time somebody would go to buy one, I'm like, hey, take it from me. Take my recommendation here, please. You should really get some milk. And they'd always have the same reaction. They're like, I'll be fine, dude. Don't upsell me. And I'm like, okay, well, don't eat it on the property because I'm not going to clean up your vomit. I had to clean up a lot of vomit.
People would eat it in the store.
They'd eat
Like,
it in the parking lot.
it's fucking one chip. You don't eat it to like provide sustenance. You eat it to get clout
The
on
funny
social
thing
media.
was is that our milk sales were better when they didn't buy milk
Hmm.
than when they did buy milk. Because when they buy milk the first time, they're just going to get the one bottle because they think that's all they need. When they don't, they come back in and get five because they're in excruciating pain.
That's, I mean, like I thought the only people who ate that thing were people who were trying to get clout on social media. So I'm surprised people just would eat it in the fucking parking lot.
You'd be surprised how many people would do retarded shit in our fucking gas station parking lot for internet clout. Like I remember one time there were a bunch of retarded girls. They were like 15, 16-year-old high school girls and they were making TikToks of them using the squeegees to fucking clean your car window. They would take the squeegee and then use it. This stuff is just window cleaning fluid. Like it's just window cleaning fluid. And they would write naughty words on the ground outside. And that was the content.
Yeah, TikTok
I
does
was
not make a lot of sense to me.
right. So I was sitting there and I'm all like, look, girls, do your fucking retarded shit somewhere else, okay? Because I gotta tell you, anybody who would actually watch this TikTok of yours is not watching it for the retarded content you're making. They're watching it because this is the next best thing to you making an OnlyFans. Get the fuck out of here. I almost got fired for that one.
Mhm. Hit or miss. I guess they never miss, huh?
Yeah, but I'm not a rapper.
Haven't you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation?
I don't listen to hip hop.
I think it's such bullshit that you have to pay money for a 24-hour license in like for a real time 24 hours, and then you have to pay an additional fee for the actual day you spend at the location. That is such horseshit. It's like getting taxed twice on the same
Yeah,
income.
right. But at least when you go to buy the real lifetime license,
Hmm.
you can buy it in more than just one day.
Hmm.
So, you could like spend a bunch of money, okay, blah blah blah. And then if you wanted to use the bait coins, you could have it be permanent.
Yeah, the issue with that is I don't know how often I play this game in back-to-back days. Like, I'm playing it today. I
Right.
doubt I'm
Yeah.
playing it tomorrow.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there.
So
It
I just
can
always
get
buy one
annoying.
day. Yeah, like tomorrow, I know I'm playing Animal Crossing because there's a special
All
event.
of it's just a vehicle to try to get you to buy premium so that you'll make money faster.
Wow, the Spurs have won back-to-back games by 20 plus points. Wow, that's breaking character.
Um, Not really, because they were 5-30 before these two games, and they're 7-30 now. Only reason that they won back-to-back games by more than 20 points is because they played the only two teams in the league that have a worse record than them:
Oh,
the
really?
Pistons and the Hornets. Yep.
I keep forgetting about the Hornets when thinking about shitty teams. I keep thinking Pistons, Spurs, and Wizards.
Right. So it's hilarious that people like they're using this game to be like, oh my god, Wembenyama, this is it, guys. 26 points, 9 for 14 shooting. Oh my god. And yeah, it's one of the worst teams in the league. Like it comes as no surprise that the two best games he's played so far have been against the only two teams in the league that are worse than the fucking Spurs. Like, oh my god. This is gonna be a big one. Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah, I want Lamelo to be good, but I kind of have a bad feeling about where this is going.
Yeah. You know what's even funnier is that he got a tattoo on his neck of the logo that he uses for his custom line of shit. So the league last season required him to wear a bandage or some kind of something to cover up the tattoo because it violated the league's rules for merchandising or whatever. But now his line's actually doing pretty decent. The NBA is talking about going into some kind of a deal with them, promoting their stuff. So all of a sudden, his tattoo is totally okay now, and I'm all like, Adam Silver, please stop with this fucking Israeli bullshit, please. My God, first, having the league be sponsored by sports betting websites, and then they're shamelessly point shaving every game. This heinous shit, like this. It's getting hard to care. Roast. Steak roast.
Cody Pro 87, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I will be right
Whoa!
back. I'll be right
Level
back.
27,
1
I
second.
unlock using frogs for bait. Yeah, no. Use frogs for bait now. That's pretty cool.
All right, I am back. So, what were you saying whoa about right before I left, Snacks?
Oh, now that I've hit level 27, I'm allowed to use frogs as bait.
Very nice.
Apparently, that's a thing.
Couple noties came in.
Yeah, I just thought it was neat.
Oh, welcome to all the new followers. Sorry I didn't get to see who you guys were. Um, yeah, unfortunately, Twitch is dumb and won't let me see who the recent followers are, but welcome to the stream. He kind of does Big Country, actually. That works. Adam Silver looks like a bowling pin.
You know what else he looks like?
A what?
A cuck.
Just gonna cut right to it, huh?
Based.
Well, you didn't have to say it like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I'm gonna kill him. Hey, George, why? Because it's there. Feed me more nugget. Toe, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. 1 second. Okay, so let's forward time a little bit. Get these fish back in the water. So, for those of you who are here, a little bit of a teaser. Tomorrow afternoon's YouTube short will have a few new memes in it. We actually got some new ones this time. $20 can buy many peanuts. Explain how.
Do you remember the King of the Hill episode where Hank was fishing with crack?
With crack? No, I don't think so.
A very good episode.
Doesn't sound like something Hank would do.
Well, because that's the joke, is that, you know, the setup for, because this isn't in the scene, so that I posted the YouTube clip. So better explanation. The setup is Hank is, you know, he's a stern traditionalist as he always is. He only ever fishes with worms. But the other guys have been fishing very successfully compared to Hank not using worms, and they've been making fun of him. So he decides against his better judgment he's going to look for something else. So he asks the guy at the bait shop if he knows about a place to get some stuff that's still all natural, because you know he doesn't want to use synthetic or any fake kind of stuff, you know, any of the space age new technology kind of crap. He just wants to use something natural and real. So the guy suggests him, hey, there's this guy named Jack, and he sells bait out of his truck over in this part of town. Well, it's in the bad part of town, and Hank goes there at night. So not knowing what Jack looks like, he accidentally ends up coming across a drug dealer. So because the guy is used to speaking in code, he thinks that when Hank is talking about bait, even though Hank is being 100% straight up legitimate, the drug dealer assumes that he's just using code because he wants to buy drugs, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So Hank accidentally ends up buying crack. So he uses it as fishing bait, and it's extremely successful. So that's the scene. It's really funny.
Ooh, that would be fun, David. Wow. That would be fun. It's been so long since I watched King of the Hill, I don't remember most of the episodes that I've seen very well. I'm trying to think about it right now.
I remember him pretty well because King of the Hill was like my favorite show for a long time. I was so fucking heartbroken when they decided to stop doing it and do the Cleveland show instead.
I don't think anybody on the planet liked the Cleveland show.
Yeah, the ratings were dog shit, and it's the only Seth MacFarlane show that's ever been canceled.
Well, not exactly.
I canceled and not brought back. Family Guy did get canceled way back in the day, but they brought it back. And since they brought it back, it's never been canceled since. And the only other show Seth MacFarlane's ever made that's been canceled was The Cleveland Show, which never got brought back. And that should tell you just how bad it is because when I mean, hell, Seth even made a joke about it in the first episode back after Family Guy was brought back. Uh, where he does a fourth wall breaking moment talking about how they'd been canceled. So then he names off all the different shows that Fox made between the cancellation and when they brought Family Guy back. So he names like 60 some fucking shows. He's like, well, I figure that if all those shows go down the tubes, then we got a shot. And that was the joke, is that all those shows had in fact been canceled. But in an era where Seth MacFarlane was basically had the Midas touch for Fox, and they constantly wanted him to do more and more and more and more TV shows, the Cleveland Show's the only one that they straight up said, okay, this is just bad, and no one's watching it. We're gonna put a stop to this.
Yeah. Seth MacFarlane never really did it for me all that much, but I mean, like the Orville kind of proved that he is actually a good writer outside of just writing, you know,
Yeah, his
stupidity.
whole thing is his whole thing is like he the moment that he stops caring and he gets bored with what he's doing, all of his passion and talent and everything just goes straight in the fucking toilet. Because the first few seasons of Family Guy, before it got canceled, then like the first season when they brought it back, those episodes were fucking amazing. It was some of the funniest television ever. But once it got boring to him and he didn't want to do it anymore, started phoning it in, he didn't care. But when he got bored like that, he started up American Dad, and the first couple seasons of American Dad were fucking outstanding. And then he got bored and he stopped caring. He never cared about the Cleveland Show because he never wanted to do it. Fox just made him. And the Orville was his passion project and something he'd wanted to do basically his whole life.
Yeah.
That's why it's still so well received even in this day.
I think there was a live action show run by Seth MacFarlane, like maybe
Well,
20 years
that
ago.
was before then.
I think it was called The Loser or something.
Not sure. I'll check it out real quick. See anything with a name like that? Um,
Let me try to find it real quick.
Maybe you're thinking of this show called The Pit, which he didn't create. He didn't create it. He wasn't the director. He wasn't a writer, but he was a consulting producer and an actor on the show. Uh, in 7 episodes, and this was during uh, Family Guy.
Wait a minute. I think I might have found it. Hold on. Let me see if this is the one I was thinking about here. Okay. Okay, I don't see Seth MacFarlane's name attached to this though. There's a show called Dads back about, yeah, 11 years ago. But I don't see Seth MacFarlane attached to it, so maybe I'm thinking of something else. Wait a minute. He made Hellboy 2 The Golden Army? I remember seeing that movie. No, he definitely. Okay. What did Seth MacFarlane have to do? Oh, he did a voice. Okay, never mind. I was like, wait a fucking minute. Oh, wow. I didn't know he did writing for all the Cartoon Network shows.
Yeah.
That's cool. When you leave your thing in the water for too long without pulling it in, dragonfly comes and lands on the end of your rod.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You used to see it a lot back when at the very beginning of the game when you have to use the floater. You literally just put the thing in the water and then you just have to wait for a bite.
Hmm.
And while you're waiting, that dragonfly would show up all the time. That's the whole reason I switched to lure fishing in the first place was because it's actually like engaging instead of that.
Get on over here, Mr. Fishy. All right. Okay, I just filled my net yet again. So I think that's actually going to do it for me tonight. It's already almost midnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good call.
I'll extend out to the next night and then just leave. By the way, $86,000 now.
Nice. I gotta catch up. I'm like
I'm
50.
I'm like level 26 though, so we're still going to be here a while. All right, guys, thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you guys tomorrow, or yeah, tomorrow morning. Have fun.